morning, robotics fans, friends, and family. It's WDSU-TV back here again. We're inside today live in the Wellness and Recreation Center on the campus of Delaware State University for a unique event. We have robotics, ladies and gentlemen, here on our campus as it is. Robotics competition that's going to be taking place mainly in the aquatic division as we're here, as I said, live with WDSU-TV. My name is Byron Dixon. As we looks like we're just underway here with preliminary competitions as well. As you can see here, we do have cameras set up all around, including an underwater shot as well, as I'm sure we're going to look at throughout the day. Competition consists of middle and high schoolers in the local area competing, as I said, in the aquatic robotics division. As it looks like the first heat did just wrap up, and the judges will record their scores. As it looks like there are two different obstacles, one in the main lane and one on our side, as you see competitors walking over to it now. As you get a look at the obstacle course there, a couple hoops, as you see the judges as well. And it looks like our competitors from the first heat will move on to that obstacle course I was speaking of. As we get a look at our judges, telling our competitors what they're looking for. As they do have stopwatches, so I'm guessing one of the main things is time. And it looks like they are underway on the second obstacle course. Looks like this obstacle is comprised of multiple rings. We get that GoPro shot there briefly, as you can see the underwater view, and get an in-depth view of what our competitors are going through. And as I said, in today's 2018 Delaware SeaPerch Challenge, we have both middle and high school. In the middle school competition, we have Lewis L. Redding Middle School, team name IIRMS Knights. They'll be in lane 1. Second, we have Delaware State University Aquabats. We also have the Gouger Middle School Cobra Subs. The Postlethwaite Middle School team name Code 4. Fred Fire Middle School Challengers. HB DuPont Middle School HB Warriors. And Gouger Middle School Cobra Waves. So 7 teams in total for the middle school competition. As we have Gauger Middle School in the blue shirts represented here going through the obstacle course currently, as well the Cobra Waves with an appropriate name for the aquatic competition. And as we get a look at that view underwater, as each team trying to get their machine through each ring in a timely fashion. And recapping the first obstacle, the SeaPerch, looks like they were being judged on lower platform, upper platform, number of shapes, and number of shapes again. And if they needed assist from the divers, it was 2 minutes added to their total time, and it equaled out to their total amount of points. Teams were only allowed to transport one item at a time. The platforms were knocked over. It would not stop play unless they interfere with the lanes next to them. As I said, if the dive is assisted, it would be a 2-minute penalty. If anything was dropped, it will remain in play. Each shape placed in the lower scoring area earns 1 point. Each shape placed in the upper area earns 2 points. Scores are tallied at the end by the judges. Shapes knocked off will not count unless replaced. Shape is considered in the lower section if it's not touching the lower plate. Diver's word and inspection is final. And the run-ins when either 15 minutes has went past or teams declare the run over. Surface and touch the wall with the vehicle. So Gauger is currently going through the obstacle right now, as it is going to be one at a time for the second obstacle. As we look at the divers who are ever crucial to this process, making sure the cords don't get tangled and assisting where necessary as well. As teams are a little warm inside here, as temperatures are a little bit hotter than they are outside. As we see Galver trying to manipulate the obstacle course and successfully get through each ring. Definitely a team sport, as you see many people, many members of the team assisting one another, taking turns controlling, trying to get the best method to get through each ring in a timely fashion. And it looks like they successfully get through the second obstacle ring and look to work on the third. As it looks like they almost got it. It looks like they're through that ring. And we got another underwater view. As they're working through that last ring. And they get through. It looks like they'll will have to work their way back through the opposite way. And as we get an aerial view, as you see all the members of the Geiger team here, some on the court, some controlling the actual robotic. As it looks like the diver will have to step in, so that will probably add time to their total score to help them get through that ring. As it looks like they're down to their last two. As like the cord is tangled. And with a little help, looks like Gauger finishes the obstacle course, as that'll wrap up their run on the second obstacle. As Gauger completes their run. And it looks like we will be awaiting our next team entering the fray. As we can look at our next team setting up for the first heat. And it looks like we'll get a look at Lewis L. Redding Middle School. They'll take their first run of the day at the first obstacle. The Knights. That's what they go by. As it looks like Lewis L. Redding, as they work out the kinks here, they'll be ready to begin momentarily. As Lewis L. Redding places their robotic in the water, and they're underway, it looks like, on the first obstacle. And it looks like on the second obstacle, we have HB DuPont Middle School, the HB Warriors, underway on the second obstacle. As we get that underwater view of the first obstacle. As we have on the first obstacle, Lewis L. Redding Middle School, and on the second obstacle, we'll get a look at both. We do have HB DuPont Middle School as well, the HB Warriors and the LLRMS Knights.
So they're in the booth right now. I mean, no, they're on the challenge. They're right there. Lewis, the girl and the boy. That's the Gauger, and then that's HB DuPont, and that's Pfeiffer.
Thank you. And on, actually, we have three teams going off at the same time in addition to Lewis L. Redding and HB DuPont. We actually have Fred Pfeiffer Middle School underway as well. So 3 teams going off at same time. Lewis already, Fred, Pfeiffer, and HB DuPont as well. And it looks like as well, 4, excuse me, as we have Gallagher as well still hanging around. And we get that underwater view right up on the action there. As it looks like Lewis Redding will make some adjustments, as I believe they do have 2 tries with this as well. As we have Gallagher in the second lane on the first obstacle as well, right next to Lewis Redding. And then as we see the second obstacle, as we get an aerial view right over the obstacle course, as got a great shot there of HB DuPont manipulating through. It looks like the judges are testing with Lewis L. Redding's robotic is operating properly. As it looks like a successful completion of the obstacle course by HB DuPont. High fives all around. As we get a look again at Gallagher as they work through the first obstacle. As it looks like Lewis L. Redding is adjusting on the fly, making the necessary adjustments so they can make it through the obstacle. As it's all hands on deck for Lewis L. Redding as they try to figure out what's going on and get back on the obstacle. as Gallagher is making their way through. And it looks like they're almost done. One more obstacle to overcome as their design's a little bit different, kind of with an extended front. And it looks like Lewis already is off and underway as they look like they worked out the kinks. And Gallagher trying to finish up. As we get an underwater view of both teams, you have two rings, you have a platform, so definitely many aspects to the robotics competition, and you're seeing it firsthand here. As they try to grab the ring, it looks like. As right into your screens there, folks, following the action. And it looks like Gallagher working their obstacle back, trying to get it to go the right way. Again, this is the heap of the middle school competitors. 7 teams in total on the middle school side. And it looks like through all the obstacles, Lewis L. Redding was able to get through the obstacle course and complete their heat as they'll wait to see what the judges say as you see them mark down their scores. And we'll get some more teams moving around here. As it looks like Lewis already will now move on to the second stage, second obstacle. And it looks like Gallagher has completed their heap as well on the first obstacle. As we'll get HB DuPont, move over to the other side here to the first heat. And we have Gauger on the third and Lewis out Reading on the second as we're moving along here underway with the middle school competition. And it looks like everyone is off as the judges give the go signal. And we're underway all around here. 4 obstacles going off at the same time. And we've got action all around here at the Delaware SeaPerch Challenge. As we get a look underwater at Gallagher trying to make their way through the obstacle, struggling with the ring to get over. As you see Gallagher moving right along through the obstacle, trying to get under the ring and through the ring to get to the next one. As we get HB DuPont working through their first heat. As we cycle through the various obstacles here in the middle school heat. And as we get multiple views, we get a look at both obstacles underwater here. As we have Lewis L. Redding on the far back part to your right, and right in front of you on your TV screen, you have Gauger as well. As we see the divers assisting, as of course do get tangled as they make their way through the obstacle course. But we do have 4 teams going off at one time with all 4 obstacles. The first 2 heaps, the third one, and the fourth. As we're right on top of the view there of the obstacle course. As we are right on the action there, up close and personal. As we look at Gauger, who looks like their robotic is a little stuck. Piece came off, but we're right there for assistance. And we'll see if that'll impact their score. As you can look there, Lewis L. Redding working on the second obstacle. And it looks like the diver will help them through the rest of the obstacle. So we'll see how that impacts the time of Gallagher with the assistance of the diver. And we get a look there at HB DuPont trying to make their way through their second obstacle of the day. And we get an up-close personal look there at HB DuPont. And it looks like we have another completion by Lewis L. Redding. Second straight on the second obstacle as they're off to a good start. As it looks like HB DuPont close to the wall, trying to get it away from that wall before they get stuck. Try to work through that. As we look at HB DuPont maneuvering through the obstacle, focusing their eyes, and cheers all around. Looks like as they are wrapping up the obstacle. As it looks like both teams are done on their first obstacle.